Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And welcome to The System is Down, the least comfortable show on the web. It is, and my headphones are all jacked up. Everything is out of whack, but I'm here. We're going to do the normal thing. We've got Dave Casey here, the man, the myth, the legend, the very young Dave Casey. My favorite person, my favorite elder on the internet. Dave, how's it going, man?
Really good day so far, dude. Rough day at work, and then I got pulled over, and then I had to go to the DMV for a bit, and that was very depressing. So I'm just so grateful to be here with you, and for that 3 seconds to vent about it. Now I'm better.
Yeah, so maybe we'll vent about it even more. Maybe we'll get into, stick around, find out all the spicy details of Dave's day, because that's the important things that we cover here on The System is Down. And
right.
Also, following this show, you can join the after party if you join the Downers Club. If you become one of these wonderful sponsors like Kimberly, Owen, something, turn off that other thing. Justico Mitchell, Silas Lane, Adam Choate, Andrew, something, Zach, Danielle, Kimberly, Owen, Gid Kid, Break the Bell, Zareth Anarchy, Heffalumps, Woozles, Lauren Carter, Level Zero, Brian Johnson, Craig DaCosta, Derek Evans, Howie Snowden, Brian McWilliams, and many, many more. If you want to get your name on that list and probably have it read in correctly someday, go on over to patreon.com/The System is Down, where you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content. Again, including the after parties, like today's after party, where we'll be discussing Martha Stewart, hot or not, because that's what you do on the internet, I think. Does that entice you? We typically talk about more deep, like big-brained stuff, but we're going real lowbrow today. So come on over to patreon.com/The System is Down and join the Downers Club for all that following. But today, during the show, we've got a great one for you guys. We're going to be talking about Elon Musk. He felt bad for the World Economic Forum and decided to hire one of their lackeys to run his company. John Fetterman is stroking out in public again. Miller Lite is fighting Bud Light to see who can be gayer, and Mike Pence is running for president. We're all saved, I'm sure. Thank you guys for being here. Go share the show with your friends, and let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
What I call nastiness or
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke! We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
No, tomorrow. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
All right. Hey, we got two things that we got to talk about before we get into any of the normal news roast stuff. The two things. First off, Dave, you saw the new video, you heard the new song. This is the part where you tell me how good it was. Go ahead.
Well, you know I fucking love your band, dude, and that you're bringing it back to the emo
I just
days.
know that you're under contract. You're contractually obligated to do what you're about to do. So please,
It is
Carry
very
out.
good. There are 5 stars to offer, and you get all 5 of the stars.
Thank you, Dave.
No, dude. No, it's fucking totally pro, and it's really good. And you guys could probably single-handedly bring back emo. Maybe get yourself like a nice even opening spot, because dude, this throwback stuff. I know they bring all those emo bands out to Vegas every year. I don't know. Probably some opportunities there. Reminds me of my days hanging out with the Medina Lake Boys. And
Nice.
I told you it reminds me of Story of the Year. I think this wasn't my genre, but I got to be around for a lot of it.
Yeah.
And you guys do it as good as any of the bands that I spent months and months on Warped Tour, dude, and crushing it. My favorite part, though, this is gonna sound like remedial, but is that hi-hat.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right. I need that breakdown. So
Sure.
Way to go,
It's
dudes.
funny that like back in the day, this stuff wouldn't have even qualified under the emo category. Like it's kind of emotional lyrics and stuff, so maybe, but it's more like it's heavier than any of that stuff ever was. But now that we live in a time where everything's just this like plastic box, like radio hit nonsense trash, there's that, and then there's like pretty much anything that's a little bit slightly dark-ish, no matter what genre it is, it's just emo now. So I'm fine with it. We can have the big umbrella of emo and qualify ourselves under that. But
anybody who's in a band hates labels. I remember. I mean, that's just across the board.
I would have hated it as a kid, but now I don't care. Like I'm like, yeah. If somebody told me they were in an emo band at this point, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I want to see like anybody who owns it. Since it's like basically a pejorative, anybody who's owning it, I want to see what they're doing because they're probably chill. But yeah,
I'm like that with conspiracy theorists. I like to own it so that I'll just fucking say it,
right?
And then whoever's interested in that, then it's gonna be good.
You don't like that? Then we're probably not going to get along anyway. Like if you're going to judge me based off of me calling myself a conspiracy theorist, then we're not going to get along. Now. The other thing that we got to talk about at the beginning, Dave, you seem to have had a troubled day. Would you like to vent a little bit more and get it out of your system?
Actually, man, like I could get pissed at that, and I hate being around cops. It's always uneasy and stuff. But like, I thought I knew what I was getting pulled over for because I was literally on my way to the DMV because my girl got pulled over because we forgot to do the registration. It was last month. Mm-hmm. But the cops were like, "Whatever, you got a month to do it. Just bring this over if you get this stuff done." So I was on my way. And this guy pulls up beside me, and I could tell he was gonna, he was slowing down so he could see my shit. And I pulled into this spot, and he flipped his lights on. And I thought he was gonna get me for the registration. He's like, he just said from his car. He pulled up right next to me. He's like, "Pulled you over because you didn't have your seatbelt on, sir. You're right there." And I was, yeah. So he comes over, dude, and his whole vibe. And listen, all cops are bastards. Like you serve evil ultimately. You're not all like complete tyrants or like evil yourselves, but I get the sentiment. But this guy was just like, he seemed nice enough, though there were times, and I'm sure. Have you seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Is that a movie that you've seen?
Hell no, Dave. You know that I haven't seen movies.
That's so sad. Okay, for everybody else in the chat, I know that literally everybody else in the chat has seen the movie, dude. Something to think about.
I'm sure, yeah.
But the guy comes up and he was totally like Ferris Bueller when he needed to get Cameron's car. So in the movie, he was just like, Cameron's like this pushover, and he was just like, "Look, I wish there was something else we could do, but there's nothing else we could do. I'm sorry." So he like takes the guy's Ferrari, and that's kind of how this cop was. It's just like, man,
my hands are tied here, man.
Yeah, it's the day that we go out just for this, and it's like, oh,
this is the day we're real bastards. So
yeah, we have
caught us on Bastard Day. Sorry,
that's it.
Meet our bastard quota.
Yep. So, but I'm feeling pretty good, man. I just got to vent it out. Way cheaper than therapy, and
yeah,
it's all good. $100 poorer, and it's not going to make or break me, baby. So let's keep on going.
There you go. You're welcome, the government. Now, speaking of the government, because that's my best segue. The only thing we missed last week, but really the only thing we missed, like anytime I take a week off, I'm like waiting for like the big stories to drop, and there was pretty much nothing. There almost never is anything. There's no news. There's like probably 15 minutes of actual news. I know we talk about it like 2 hours a week, but there's only about 15 minutes of news every 2 weeks, it seems like. But Donald Trump did this town hall thing on CNN. I don't want to get too deep into that because I know everybody's covered it into an oblivion by now since it's a week late. But did you catch that, and what'd you think of it, Dave?
I caught little bits of it, probably just the sound bites that everybody else loved. But my general takeaway is that I hate that I love it.
Yeah,
like I hate that the show is getting good, and
I hate that they're begging me to like Donald Trump. They are begging me to like him. But they're giving him every opportunity to make me like him.
I think that it's probably time that we come to the understanding that is the goal.
Yeah.
It can't be, because they're doing this to rational people who are like, let's call us in the middle, the radical middle, whatever.
Yeah.
So they are definitely CNN, Trump, all of them, WWE style in it, giving you the red meat on CNN. CNN's getting rich again. It's Trump season, baby.
Yep.
Like that's the only way I can look at it. And,
we're back in business. We were tanking. I don't know, but why? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I heard it was a conservative, or a Republican town hall. Is that true, or is it just like a mixed group? Do you know?
The audience definitely sounded majority Republican, so
Right,
that's all I know.
sounded that way. Right. I was curious if I don't know if because you'd think that they would procure the right people if they were trying to be so against Trump or something.
It's confusing because you make a fair point, but also in this town hall, I watched the entire thing. I found it fascinating, just that we live in this time. But Donald Trump handled this woman very, very, very well.
She's a nasty woman.
She had nothing, and she made it very obvious that she had nothing, and just grasping at straws, at desperation. And then about halfway, or about, 40 minutes into it, they cut to commercial, and then they come back for 10 minutes, and they cut to another commercial, which was strange, and then they come back and they're like, we're done. And they bailed. So it was almost like they could have gone, I think they had a time slot that was supposed to be an hour and a half or something, and they only went for, I think, an hour or so. So they cut it short. So your theory makes sense, but if that is the case, then are they just cutting it short because they're like, yeah, we want the Trump attention, but we don't want to look like complete fucking idiots? And that's what was happening.
Yeah, maybe bail, get out now. And I'm sure we can just talk about, have Anderson Cooper fucking shoot the shit about
fall
this
back, regroup.
Right, yeah, exactly. In military terms, that's probably what they're, okay, this is not going the way we thought. But they did bring out a serious iron box who they probably thought, would, I don't know, man. Nobody can I haven't seen anybody out Trump on a stage. He just.
Are you saying she did well?
I'm saying she is, as he says, a nasty woman, very nasty. But
she wasn't it wasn't good though.
No,
yeah, she pushed back, but the strangest thing was that she was fucking debating Trump in this town hall. That's supposed to be a conversation. She was cutting him off every 30 seconds, saying, "Nope, that's not true. That's not true." It wasn't a good look for her. I feel like her career is not going to be improved because of this. But you think that she held up?
No, I think that they probably sent out somebody who they thought was going to be formidable to Trump, and it didn't work.
And that's the best they got.
Yeah, I think that they sent out their big guns, all white, and failed. If we're still pretending, or we're still operating under the assumption that these are opposing teams,
right?
They lost.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If not, they took the fall or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And I lean toward the latter, as I do, but I do find it fascinating in either world that we want to believe it is. But Ron Perlman this is the tweet of the day. Ron Perlman had this tweet following the town hall saying, "How can a guy who proclaims he is still president want to run for president? Which is it, motherfucker?"
That's so great. What a dork.
Now, that might make sense in any other job other than office, where you run for the thing if you want to maintain the thing. So he's saying we should, if he's a Joe Biden supporter, is Joe Biden running for president while being president also? This is the level of intelligence that the elitists in this country have, and I find it beautiful when they... Twitter is such a wonderful thing, because it gives these people a voice. It lets all the smart people speak up and have a voice, but more importantly, it gives people on the opposite end of the spectrum, like Ron Perlman, a voice for us to laugh at.
Expose yourselves.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Though some of it can be crushing. I never really was a Ron Perlman fan, but there are some people that really, really disappointed me through Twitter. It's weird.
Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill, great one. Stephen King, perhaps the most famous author of the 20th century and beyond.
I mean, nobody writes about pedophilia that much without being a Democrat, so come on.
Listen, these people, they use blackmail as currency. We know that. You know what I'm saying? So who knows what that guy did in the 70s, 80s, 90s? Because he's just much like I've heard, J.K. Rowling is probably not solely responsible for the Harry Potter shit. It could be up to 7-8 people who were writing those books. I even heard that with some Shakespeare stuff. Could be conspiracy theory, but I don't know. I tend to think that that's all, smoke and mirrors. That could be some of that stuff going on too. Who knows?
Possibly. Now, speaking of very large mentally ill people like Ron Perlman, John Fetterman is back in the news because this came out today from Newsweek.com. John Fetterman, so there's this hearing going on about the Silicon Valley Bank issue, and John Fetterman. So the Newsweek headline reads, John Fetterman's question at Senate hearing leaves witness speechless. Now, if you're familiar with John Fetterman's work, you can see where this is probably going. But they would have you believe that John Fetterman gave such a question of such magnitude that it left you just speechless and floored with in awe of what Fetterman had to say. But here's the question that John Fetterman asked.
Is it staggering? Is it a staggering responsibility that that the head of a bank could literally crash our economy? It's astonishing. That's like if you have, I mean, like, and they also realize is that now they have a guaranteed way to be saved by how. You know, so it's you know, isn't it appropriate that this kind of control should be more stricter?
Answer the question.
I like how he shrugs. Like, come on, that's a reasonable question, is it not? That I'm assuming that's where the witness was left speechless. But
Right.
John Fetterman, you know, he goes on. He doesn't give him a chance to respond. Personally, I too am speechless, not by, you know, the line of questioning, but by the fact that this man is an elected official in our country of any kind.
Yeah.
This man is grilling, I don't know, like tech bankers on their job. Like, even if he was mentally sound, I'm not sure what his qualifications are exactly, but let's see.
To prevent this kind of thing from going? Or should we just go on and start bailing and sailing whoever bank?
Bailing and sailing?
How their conduct is.
Come on, buddy.
You know, I'll give you an example.
Bail it and sail it.
The Republicans want to give a work requirement for SNAP. You know, for a hungry family has to have this kind of penalties or some kinds of working required. Shouldn't you have a working requirement after we sail your bank with billions of your bank? Because they seem to be more preoccupied than SNAP. And
I love this so
requirements
much.
For works for
That's great.
hungry people.
This is
but
just the
not
system.
about protecting the
This is the emperor being exposed.
You know, that will bail no matter whatever does about a bank to crash it.
Whatever it does about a bank. What about that, Balin Dalit?
He shrugs again. He's pissed off. This guy is not following me. He's speechless.
Listen, this is what I was thinking during this. When people people that don't pay attention to all this stuff like we do, they just assume like government is stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no wonder. Because like the face jobs that these guys pluck from like whatever county to manage whatever House district or whatever Senate, whatever.
Mhm.
And this is from the local to the state to the federal level, right?
Mhm.
I think that that's a common denominator. Like, you could easily find somebody who will say the stuff or attempt to for a 6-digit salary.
Right.
And maybe they got a wife or a handler who can really like just schlep them in front of the thing, you know, like just easily. And they want that money too, all that beautiful healthcare. And,
Who's
you know,
easier
like,
to control? A guy who like can be bought out, or a guy who can be bought out and also literally puppeted with a hand up his ass?
right. And in the meantime, you know, check out the old SS manuals, like the old CIA stuff. It's still in there, but like part of their MO is to just make bureaucracy move like sludge.
Right.
That's part of the strategy to not get anything, you know, like just fuck shit up. So this is, I bet, you know, in the back room, there's people fucking chuckling about this. Like, look, we can schlep these people in here, put them up in front of this guy. This guy's doing the questioning.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's hilarious. So like, I don't know. My point of that is that government is not dumb. They just throw dummies up in the front to be the front guys. To, you know,
I go back and forth. I'm not going to lie. I go back and forth because every time I'm like, oh, these are evil masterminds. Like, we elected John Fetterman. We put him there. That happened. Or did we? I don't know. Is it all controlled? Do you believe even down to that level it's controlled?
I mean, at the state level, he's a senator? One of two? There's only 100 senators. Yeah, I don't think that there's any senator, maybe with the exception of Rand Paul, because he has that sweet,
Well, that's
sweet
the thing. You can't
nepotism.
say they're all controlled except for Rand Paul. That's like saying every single president was controlled except for Donald Trump.
Well, look, Pennsylvania had the opportunity to bring in, oh my God, I'm forgetting her name, but she did in the debates. She was up there with Oz and a couple other Republicans who were both, and she called them out.
Mm-hmm.
You were at the World Economic Forum. I know where you're from. I know what your background is, blah, 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 blah. Beautiful, black woman, conservative, Republican. They could have had her. So it's like, I think that, yeah, it is controlled from the beginning, and they kind of filter through the choices that they'll allow you to have.
So Rand Paul's controlled?
No, I mean, I don't know, maybe. But I'm just saying,
Massey.
he would have a whole lot more of momentum. Like, he's got that not nepotism. I was joking before, but he's got that name recognition that could allow you to maybe, much like Trump, sail past some of those barriers that they would have set up for everybody else.
Mm. Yeah. More importantly than that, this is a thing. Speaking of John Fetterman, this is Drag Syndrome Official on TikTok.
Phoenix dark, bright, green, bitch.
Oh no.
And I'm Lady Mercury, and I'm here to slay and party. And I love you all. Where's my cocktail?
Oh!
I'm Nikita Gold. I'm a fabulous diva.
All right, that one's not too bad.
That's hot.
That's a, solid 6. Oh man, that's really sad, dude. That's really sad. These guys are doing, like mentally retarded people have been doing better in the press in recent years. Worse for like rates, because I think people are like aborting babies that they find might have that stuff early on. So they're facing extinction, and that kind of sucks because they're really lovable people. But this is making me like them less.
Was it Sweden? I think it was Sweden who eradicated Down syndrome, which means that they just killed all the Down syndrome babies.
Yeah, I mean, that's eugenics, man. That's building towards the perfect society, right? There might have been a time when I was younger, I probably would have been, hey, that's good. You don't want that that's hard for life. It's just like, no, that's not where I'm at.
Yeah. Now, if you had to guess on these drag diva or down divas, would you? I think that I'm not even saying that.
Fuck, marry, kill. It's easy, bro. I'll tell you right now.
I'm not even saying that to be mean. I think their handle is Drag Syndrome Official. Oh, it's not. I was thinking it was Down Queens or something like that. Anyway, whatever. There's a lot of different ways you could spend that name. But do you think that they came to this idea to dress like this and look like this on their own?
Well, they're retards. I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
If anybody could be fooled, it'd be a couple of... No, I don't...
Do you think that they were born this way? Do you think that they've felt like women since they were the age of 3? Or do you think perhaps somebody, talked them into it?
Holy lottery. If you were born retarded and also trans, damn. It's like fucking lightning strikes twice.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking like...
They seem happy, though. So that's...
I guess.
That going for them.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't care about drag downers, whatever, but I don't know. Just wondering, like the ties between that and like we've seen a staggering amount of people transitioning or getting into this stuff that have mental issues aside from body dysmorphia or whatever, but like autism and possibly Down syndrome and stuff like that. So I don't know, like. If you wanted to, hypothetically, groom somebody into that sort of lifestyle, who easier to convince than, I don't know, people with, vulnerabilities?
Retards.
Yes, Dave.
I'm sorry. You played that. I'm sorry. That's really... I'm saying we should have, maybe not, I don't know. I'm not saying we need more retarded people, but let's keep the ones that we got, and let them be normal.
I mean, there's plenty of
heads.
there's plenty of retarded people that aren't like legitimately retarded. They just act and dress and behave retardedly in life. I would prefer that we leave the mentally challenged people to just be mentally challenged and not force your own mental illnesses upon them. That's all.
Listen, it makes way more sense to have retarded story hour than drag queen
It
story
does.
hour.
It really
It makes
does.
way more sense, and it would be better for kids. And
I've seen people say Juggalo story hour, which really that makes more sense too, because that's like you're teaching them about music, quote unquote, and like I don't know, hard knock life and stuff. What are drag queens teaching other than men can sometimes wear dresses and shake their penises in people's faces? I legitimately don't know, and I have nothing against drag queens, but I don't understand why this is a normal thing.
So this is my personal preference, and I'm not saying that this is child abuse, but I think that, but I'm not even sure, dude. You guys be the judge. If a man goes dressed as, like with all the crazy eye makeup and, the glitter and the fucking blue hair and like the whole shit, the whole shebang, right? But even if they're like totally clothed, but there's breasts and it's this a man and it's got 5 o'clock shadow and it's weird. And the kid looks to mom or dad at, what are they looking for? They're looking for assurance. Is this normal?
Yeah.
And mom and dad goes, good. No, this is good.
It's not just normal. This is praised. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that is not good. I think that is not healthy, and you shouldn't go something is normal when it's not. And I don't fucking know though.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not talking about drags today or trannies today. I don't care. Whatever. Let's talk about Jack Casey.
I always get into drag mode. Yeah,
that's right. Speaking of, here's Jack Casey.
Today's show is sponsored by libertarian conspiratorial fantasy author Jack Casey. Whether you're looking for a 3-book fantasy sci-fi epic of love, death, and dystopian civil war like the Royal Green series, or just looking for a quick, dark, comedic, cultural commentary tale about a transsexual slayer of COVID regime vampires, like his latest book, WVW, Jack Casey Books will keep you adequately entertained and pondering the universe to your weird little heart's content. He's the Ayn Rand meets Stephanie Meyer meets somebody who actually writes entertaining books with his own unique little downer-esque flair. Find out more about Jack Casey Books at the aptly named jackcaseybooks.com. Once again, that is jackcaseybooks.com. We live in a new age, and it's time for us to upgrade our tinfoil hats. Operation Tinfoil is a freedom-focused small business and trusted sponsor of this show. Their super comfortable new line of beanies and baseball caps will not only crown your skull in style, but each of these dome defenders is lined with a silver mesh that blocks up to 99% of EMF radiation from cell phone towers, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and yes, even 5G. We don't know what EMF radiation does to the brain long term, but neither do they, so don't be their guinea pig and don't wait around to find out. Get your stylish tinfoil hat of the future today at gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Again, that's gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order.
And we are back. Dave, how was your break?
You owe me that wasn't a solid break. I need a break, like a real break.
Clean break?
No, it was great. Learning a lot about the penetration testing.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
Yeah. Now, it concerns me that, with the Bud Light stuff, with all the gay stuff lately that's going on, we're just like going through the year just constantly nonstop like this stuff, not because we seek this out, but because this is all the news has been lately, is all the gay stuff and the woke stuff and the bullshit.
Bro, it's not even June yet.
That's the point I was getting to here.
Sorry.
Like, I'm this annoyed with it, and we are only halfway through May. Next month is going to be just either wonderful or just an absolute nightmare. But yeah, we'll make the most of it. We'll make fun of it as much as we can. You got any family plans for celebrating Pride Month, Dave? Just nonstop, shaking dicks in the street?
No, not for we're waxing down our surfboards, man. Can't wait for the month of June. Like the Beach Boys said.
Are you really? Do you surf?
No, bro.
Oh, shit.
No, I do like the Beach Boys.
I don't know what Delawareans do.
No, we do. We have some nice beaches, but no, I'm not a surfer. But no, yeah, you get ready to get rainbowed out for the whole month, bro. It is crazy how every month is Pride Month, and we're gonna fucking just ram it home for a
Ramp it up.
Oh
That's
man,
right.
I think on this show we've talked about the whole idea of months in general. You're gonna have that's just a bit excessive.
Speaking of, I forgot to mention today is it's like National Anti-Transphobia, Homophobia, Biphobia Day, which is again, it's I don't know how you can be biphobic and transphobic, or I don't know how you can believe in bisexuals and also transgenders because bi means two.
Yo, check this out. My friend Lauren Witzke, who's pretty base sometimes, but also pretty wild on some issues.
Sure.
She's going real hard on the LGBTQ agenda, and she shared this graph of countries that were like, because she got real excited. I think Uganda or something like outlawed homosexuality. They were like, we're just like it's against the law, and she got really excited, you know. And
I'm moving.
right, that's where we need to go. And she shared this a map of the whole world. It wasn't, not rounded. I think she's down with the flatness, but it was a graph of right. she's all in there. But it had countries that were like that outlawed all gay stuff, and some that just outlawed, like they were cool with lesbianism, but weren't cool with gay sex. Like the dudes gay sex, that's gross. But those chicks, that's pretty hot. Let's
smash it together.
Right.
Do what you
we could.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
Legislation. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. You can do that. Which
you
I
ladies,
just found
you keep doing what you're doing because we're not homophobic or nothing. You go right ahead, but you guys over there,
trannies,
keep it to yourselves.
Gays,
no.
But you vaginitarians, keep scissoring, keep enjoying yourselves.
That's right. Now, speaking of vaginitarians, let's talk about Bud Light's rival for the wokest commercial in beer, because that's a thing. Now, this actually came out a couple months ago, apparently, but it just resurfaced because of all this Bud Light controversy that's going around with Dylan Mulvaney and all that nonsense. Somebody scrounged this up, and it was quickly removed from their website after because I think Miller sees the writing on the wall, and they don't want to go down that road. But here's what, speaking of month celebrations, this is what Miller Lite put out for International Women's Month.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis.
Men put women in bikinis to celebrate beer. Now, we can break this down as we go so we don't get a copyright strike because YouTube hates us. Hopefully I didn't get a copyright strike for playing my own song at the beginning of the show. YouTube, that is my song. Do not give me a copyright strike, as I know you're going to probably. But, yes, they're going to complain about women wearing bikinis because men are the ones who forced women to wear clothing that women seem to find themselves attractive in. But I don't know. You got any thoughts so far, Dave?
She's got some great New York boobs.
Thank you, Dave.
Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up to women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this
So much like the Bud Light thing, this is it's basically trashing on Miller Lite's own demographic. Because if you're drinking Miller Lite, you're probably a dude that has these posters still hanging up in your garage, and you're like, "Hell yeah, that's my bikini poster that has the crappy beer that I like on it." Like that's the only people who this is going to speak anything to, and you're like giving them the middle finger and saying that thing that we gave you to promote our product in the past. We don't agree with that, and we think that that's shit, and you need to send it to us so we can grind it up into mulch and make trash beer, literal trash beer that is brewed with trash.
It back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers. Literally, good How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. Push out beautiful fertilizer.
Whoops.
That good helps farmers grow quality hops.
So they're literally saying that we're going to take our old magazines and posters and plastic-covered paper with ink and everything, and we're going to process that down to make fertilizer to make our crappy beer literally out of garbage. Dave, Any thoughts?
Are we going to be talking about Linda Yaccarino at all today?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll just say this. We've talked about it before, but this is all about the ESG shit. Because the reason that you got tits with beer forever is because that sold beer.
Because that's two things that people like, and you put them together, and then people liked that twice as much.
Honestly, I feel like this is one of my real benefits of being one of the elders in the movement. It's like, because I remember like the 80s and the 90s and stuff. And, a lot of ignorance in those times too. And you know what? Not everybody was perfect. Like Mike Cernovich had a good tweet about how like in the 80s there was like, in the 90s, like kind of, what did he call it? Like wait until 18. That was like kind of a joke, like stalking chicks as they were, 16, 17, 18. That's true. Jerry Springer, who just died, and I'm sure he was a fucking, LGBTQ champion by the time he was, like Howard Stern. These guys were smut peddlers. They were awful to women. They often
made men worse, and then they spent the last years of their life complaining that men were worse.
Correct, dude. I mean, he would every fucking day this guy would bring on some transsexual in the 90s, right? When it was, still kind of weird and in the counterculture. Right. And they would come out and they would expose hey, you didn't know this, but I'm a man. Whoa, isn't that crazy, audience? Like that's first of all, when you talk about murder rates amongst the trans community, like maybe something to consider. Mm-hmm. Like that if you do this to people, like that's fucking insane. And here are these ringleaders, like just egging it on. Like Howard Stern was awful to Anna Nicole Smith. Talk about like all this stuff, equality and women's rights and stuff. She killed herself, OD'd, and like had the awful life. Everybody knows she had a handler who just schlepped her around and whored her off to Hollywood. Some of the worst people, dude. I don't know how I got on that, but
I was wondering how we got to Anna Nicole Smith and Howard Stern.
But it's because these guys, if they want to play the game, they're just influencers like everybody else. And this is the new message. The new message is if you want to be a corporation in the 21st century, then you have a social responsibility to do this.
Right.
This is what's good for society. We used to rely on the government to crank out the messages, and now it's up to us, World Economic Forum associates. You know,
and
no more money. Don't worry about the profits. We'll take care of that.
Yeah, and it's like I want to go the most devil's advocate route, but it gets to a point where it's like this stuff isn't profiting at all. There is no incentive for them to do this. There's no why did they think that this was going to get more women to buy Miller Lite? Really? Like either you're an old woman that likes Miller Lite or you're not going to like Miller Lite. Let's be honest. Like there's so many options for beers and seltzers and everything for the younger demographic. Who is like I just don't understand why these companies would even be marketing to those demographics that have shown zero interest in their product before now. I know that would be the reason, certainly, but I have a hard time believing that Dylan Mulvaney and our old stuff is trash and this seems like it's getting really hard to assume that this is just a bad marketing campaign over and over and over again, and these people just hate money that much, or they're just that bad at their jobs.
Well, this reminds me of when, all right, I'll be as generous I can to these beer companies. Like in the 80s, Mattel Company, when they were crushing it with He-Man toys, were like, wait a second, there's girls.
Right.
Let's create a He-Man version for girls, She-Ra, and they sold a bunch to a bunch of girls really quick who wanted to, play with these toys. But then the boys saw what they were doing and were like, this is not cool. This is not cool. So then they lost all toy sales and whatever, everything shit the bed. So best case scenario, maybe they're trying to just sell Miller Lite to women. But in the process, if you're throwing out your target market, something's really up there.
If all you have left is men, don't shit on men to try and get a different demographic. Maybe hold on to what you have because even if you got some women based off this ad, I feel like the amount of men that are going to be more like, bro, chill the fuck out. I'm not interested in your woke-ass beer. It's probably going to be higher than the amount of women that you're going to convert with this.
Which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good too. Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
Now, I'm no historian, but that seems just factually inaccurate. I feel like we would, just based on a couple other men accomplishments over always, I feel like we would have figured it out. And also, I'm willing to bet that, a lot of the equipment, a lot of the process, what is even the claim? That women invented beer? Is that really the claim? Because even that I find hard to believe. Wasn't it like monks or something that invented beer, the original brewing process, which monks, I don't know if you know this, but they tend to be men. I don't know.
Exclusively men, right.
Come on.
I think so. I don't know a whole lot about beer history. But I don't think that the actresses in this, video know much about beer history either.
Well, yeah, or the writers, this is the revisionist history that they keep shrieking about whenever somebody brings up other things of history. But this is literally just saying things, and now it's true because we celebrate women because it's Women's History Month, and that's what we do because that gets the checkbox next to our name that proves that we are a member of the group.
Yep. Now you can play and you can sell your beer.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross. Ladies in the chats, let me know, did you buy more Miller Lite when Miller pumped this ad out 2 months ago? Let me see. By the way, super chats, we are not allowed to take them because YouTube hates you, and they hate me, and they hate Dave, and they hate everybody except for their generous contributors like George Soros, probably. If you would like to contribute to the show with words, you can do so by putting the words fake super chat in all caps so I see it, and then your comment if you want us to read it, and I will try to. You can also contribute to the show by joining the Downers Club and getting the after party and all that fun stuff, and the movie nights that we're definitely going to do very soon. I swear, we're going to watch.
It's going to happen.
If people aren't familiar, because I think we've mostly talked about it in the after parties themselves, but we are going to be doing a movie night I think it's at the $10 level. It's not going to be a show, probably. It's not even going to be released after. We're just going to hang out all together and watch a movie, because I don't know most movies, as has been made painfully apparent throughout this show. And Dave has seen all the movies, so he is going to be my wise sage that walks me and holds my hand, walking me through the annals of moviedom in Hollywood.
And we're going to kick it off with Terminator and follow it up with Terminator 2. So whenever you're ready, dude.
Dave's in charge. Yes.
Yep, that's what we're going to do.
Yes.
You need to see those.
What are you doing Friday night, Dave?
I'll be at the waffle stand till around 8, and then I'll be back.
All right. Well, that's lame. Now, let's see here. Speaking of getting woke and going broke, Vice Media. You guys remember Vice Media? They were the edgy ones that made the documentaries about doing mushrooms and sending spliffs up into space and alleged space. And I don't know, just like drug cartel shit, like lots of edgy undercover stuff. And then about 6 years ago, the owner of Vice passed it off to a woman. And now, 6 years later, Vice went from being a $6 billion, I think it was $5 or $6 billion company, to bankruptcy and giving the company over to George Soros. Like, this is, I don't know, this is almost movie quality right here. There's the fact that they got woke and went broke, and that was very predictable and all that, and it's sad to watch an empire fall. But the fact that we put it in the trusting hands of a woman, and now George Soros has it. It's laughable.
Listen, I'm grateful. If that's what you have to do, I'm for the acceleration of the destruction of Vice. So that's cool. Whatever you have to do. This, I have all kinds of schadenfreude for them paying any kind of price for this. I
don't know. Do you think? Vice got, under this new administration of Vice, they got extremely woke and went into all the,
Dude,
like,
beyond.
Are you a transphobe if you won't have sex with a trans woman? That type of thing. And
straight up nihilism, dude. They're the worst.
Yeah. So very much alienating their core demographic that they built over the years in favor of this new thing that seems to be worth more than money. But now it's going to George Soros and some other people who they tried spinning it as like they sold it for $120 million or something like that. But apparently that was the amount of money that they were they were lended by George Soros and these other people several years ago. So basically, they're just defaulting, and George Soros and them get the company for the amount of money that they had given. But something to that effect. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. But do you think that George Soros will get Vice back to its based, fun-loving nature of doing drugs? I don't know. Do you think that he will do anything with this? Like, will he try and make it into something that is profitable?
Oh, I'm sure he'll try and make money off of it. And his son he's going to take over for him as soon as this guy croaks. He's an influencer, and he's taken over for Dad. And
how old is he now? Like 150?
Oh, man, that guy looks like
the adrenochrome is strong in that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, man, his story. How about that? But yeah, his son's ready to go. He's like in mid-20s, I think, and he's on Instagram and goes to all the events, all the parties, and philanthropy. He'll take over.
Of course, they're always philanthropists. What is his son's name? I'm not even familiar.
Can't remember, dude. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him yet.
Well, according to Elon Musk, Elon Musk posted, Soros reminds me of Magneto, which is, I don't know. Dave, what do you think about that post, first off? Some people are saying it's pretty anti-Semitic.
I've seen that. I mean, I think I shared it. I shared it with a picture, I made a meme of Magneto and with fucking George Soros' face in the mask because it was cool.
I'm not even super familiar with X-Men lore. Is there some sort of obvious crossover here that would link George Soros and Magneto, or is it just
George Soros? Okay, Magneto. When he was a kid, he was in the concentration camps, and I think he saw his parents taken away, and that made him an angry kid. And so he's a Jew who spent some time in the concentration camps and saw that awful stuff. But George Soros was a guy who was adopted by, like, a Jew who was adopted or something by a Nazi, and went and collected. He was like took shit from the Jew. Come in your house, search around. That's an interview you can find on, I'm sure Rumble has it. On CBS they did maybe 60 Minutes.
An interview with Soros?
Yeah, and he says, the guy asks him, he's like, do you have any, does that haunt you? Do you have any regrets? He's like, oh, no. And he writes it off. He's like, well, I was a kid, it's like, whatever. Like,
that's what kids do. They kill Jews.
He literally was a turncoat Jew and worked for the Nazis.
Interesting. So in response, Brian Krasenstein says, fun fact, Magneto's experience during the Holocaust as a survivor shaped his perspectives as well as his depth and empathy. Soros, also a Holocaust survivor, gets attacked nonstop for his good intentions, which some Americans think are bad merely because they disagree with this political affiliations. And in response to that, Elon Musk says, you assume they are good intentions. They are not. He wants to erode the very fabric of civilization. Soros hates humanity. Shots fired. That's a pretty big statement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's true, but it's big.
If this is, if this is professional wrestling, it's good, and it's what a limited hangout. If this is a limited hangout,
right.
If it isn't, it's the coolest thing ever.
Right.
If it isn't, then it's good versus evil, dude. Like I don't know. I don't know what to say because I feel like I on most questions you'll give me, I'll have a concrete answer.
Mm-hmm.
I lean this. I'm on this side. I'm on this side. But this, I just don't know. Like, why would you call if Elon is on team AI and team, deep state and all this shit, then why the fuck would he say that about this guy who is obviously evil, doing evil all the time? I don't know.
I don't know.
Unless,
Still don't trust him, and we're going to get into why. I just realized after the last ad break, you said that you enjoyed the break talking about penetration testing and stuff, but I didn't play that ad, so we're going to play that ad now, and just going to point that out to make you look like a fool. Here we go.
Today's episode is sponsored by Astero's Cybersecurity Services. These days, organizations of all sizes are targets for cyber criminals, disgruntled employees, or even nation-state attackers. Astero's performs cybersecurity services providing expert guidance to help organizations defend against threats and protect their data. Astero specializes in penetration testing, where they perform ethical hacking on networks, web apps, or organizations as a whole to simulate what an attacker would do and plug the discovered holes before anyone malicious finds and exploits them. Asteros also specializes in vulnerability management, security awareness training, phishing simulations, cloud security audits, compliance readiness assessments, and much more. As technology expands, it becomes easier and easier to run a business, but if your security is not growing along with your company, then you're going to run into problems. If you don't personally have a company of your own, definitely pass this information along to someone who does, because for a limited time, Asteros is offering companies an attack surface audit completely free. Let Asteros discover potential entry points to your network and how susceptible your company or organization is to cyber attacks. To learn more and to take advantage of this essential offer, just go to asteros.com/free. That's Asteros, ASTEROS.com/free.
And we're back from the actual penetration testing. Dave, how were you this time?
Total Mandela effect. Are you sure you didn't run that back?
I am sure.
Absolutely weird. I'm gonna have to go plug some holes and do some testing and get my shit on. On
Save it for Pride Month, Dave. There'll be plenty of penetration testing next month to be
noted.
Seth Sparky says, fake super chat. What is the address Miller wants us to send our stool samples to? I don't know. I got nothing. My jokes aren't working today. It's all good.
Dan's got his phone number up there, though. You can find his address.
That's true.
Send him a
send it to
pile
P.O. Box 84, Aledo, Illinois 61231.
That's right.
Joey Two Guns with the fake super chat. Dan, have you seen The Never-Ending Story? I have, and I found it to be highly overrated.
Oh, you fucking dick. Yo, Joey, I'll just take it upon myself to apologize for him, dude. It must be weird to watch it at 35 or whatever. You got to be 5 years old when you watch that for the first time.
In fairness, I did watch it as an adult, and it's like The Labyrinth. You watch that for the first time as an adult, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Like, dude's a fucking pedophile. But, I'm sure The Never-Ending Story is a great book and everything, but you're talking like 80s technology and movie-making quality, watching it in today's day and age without any understanding or backstory, whatever. It's a thing of its time. It's also like The Princess Bride, which is another highly overrated movie. But
my God,
burn it all down.
I'm gonna give me that address. Writing hate mail. P.O. Box. Go fuck yourself.
P.O. Box 84, Aledo, Illinois 61231. All right.
Damn.
Grumpy Gnome says, fake super chat. According to the latest Gnome poll, 70% of voters picked Dennis for president in 2024.
Are we getting him on the show or what?
I don't know. If anybody knows Dennis, reach out to him and tell him to come on the show. He can remain anonymous.
He
is what it is.
Unironically has my support for president more than anybody else running for the LP ticket right now.
Yeah.
So he if he wants to do it.
Has he said that he's actually running for president?
I don't know.
Or are we just saying it for him?
We could be his exploratory committee.
That's right. We are the we are the exploratory committee in the Libertarian Party for whoever we want. Dennis or Spike Cohen or Dave Smith or Joe Exotic, Robert Kennedy Jr., anybody that we want. We're just the Libertarian Illuminati Exploratory Committee. Now, speaking of the Illuminati, let's talk about Elon Musk some more. Because I don't know, it gets more confusing by the day, and I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt as much as possible. But when he goes and names NBCU ad chief Linda Yaccarino as Twitter CEO, with some of her baggage, I don't know. I have my thoughts on this. Obviously, the entire internet started shrieking because she is like a World Economic Forum person, and she's been shitty on COVID and this and that. And for me, I'm like, yeah, but it's not like Elon was like the bastion of truth, or like just he wasn't like ahead of the curve really on even the COVID stuff. From what I remember, he was pretty just go with the flow on all that. So I don't know. Do you remember much about Elon's COVID stance?
Well, I was banned from Twitter for a lot of that. So not as much, but I think when it got safe, I clipped out of his Joe Rogan visit, and that was probably 2 years ago at least. And it was at the time, I remember thinking, all right, he's not a libertarian, but he had a Spaceballs Gone to Plaid shirt. I know you probably have never seen that movie either.
I've seen Spaceballs, yes.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right. So he had Gone
Not
to Plaid
overrated.
on his shirt.
It's a good one.
Good.
Holds
All
up.
right. Now we're our relationship is no longer.
I'm not
on the
total
rocks.
trash. Just mostly.
Right. It's better than all the Star Wars reviews. But he
That's
went
fair.
on that show and he said some really when it was risky was like, I don't think that we, doing these things without due process, it's certainly against the Constitution. We have to be really delicate in these times, and saying some cool stuff like that. And talking about how some people think that the economy is he used this term, I loved it, a magic horn of plenty that just cranks shit out. And that's not how it is. I remember him saying, if you don't make the stuff, there's no stuff.
Right.
Really, really simple. So he's been on the, that's good. Definitely not a libertarian. And I saw him recently on Twitter saying that he supports like common sense gun laws and shit like that. Whatever. He really likes democracy, I think. And I put on that very quote where he was saying, common sense gun law. I'm like, but our rights,
He's either
our rights are
controlled
not
or
for
he
discussion.
isn't, though. It's like,
yeah.
Is it a very elaborate ruse at this point? Because it's getting more like if he is controlled, then he is controlled in a like. Putting on my tinfoil hat entirely and saying, let's say Elon Musk is like complete controlled opposition. They're doing a really good job, like better than they've ever done, because he's really, really fucking good at it. Like he's the richest dude in the world. He's like Tony Stark billionaire guy who's like giving the middle fingers, saying I don't care about money and this and that, like saying all the right things, and then saying, also, common sense gun control and World Economic Forum people. Like, I'm curious if he's even going to address the World Economic Forum thing, because wasn't Tesla and Elon Musk even tied to the World Economic Forum in the past?
I'm not sure about that, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised.
I think there was something about. I feel like I remember hearing something about when he bought Twitter and then he started becoming the enemy of the wokeness or whatever. When he took that role, the World Economic Forum, it was like a thing that the World Economic Forum took Tesla off one of their lists or something like that. So there was like a spat there or something. It was like it kind of flew under the radar, but apparently he went from being somewhat cool with them to being less cool with them, and now he's hiring somebody who is a World Economic Forum individual. Do we know much about her? Have you dug into her background that much as far as what she actually has contributed or been a part of with the World Economic Forum?
A little bit. We talked about her on the episode on Monday night. You should go check that out. Episode 49,
Yes.
Don't Front. We talked about her and Patriot Front. And of course, how everything's tied back to, that they want to get us, dude. They're coming for us. So like, how do you do that? So this woman, she's not just World Economic Forum. She's, as she said, NBC Universal, advertising, propaganda departments. So that, I believe, at this point, NBC Universal is tied with Comcast, Xfinity. Like they're all kind of one gelatinous cube in these villages.
It's like, is the World Economic Forum even as bad as all the millions of other things that she's got her hands in? Like all the other corrupt organizations.
Right. And the ad council, that goes back decades and decades, total CIA spook job to, government funded propaganda, right? She joined that in 2014 and became the chair, like the head propagandist at the ad council in 2021.
Nothing to see here, folks.
What's going on in 2021, everybody, at the ad council, at the government? I'll tell you exactly what she was doing. She was working on a coronavirus campaign with Joe Biden that featured the Pope and how everybody needs to be responsible. She was appointed to I can't remember exactly, but it had something to do with like sports and like, athletics by President Trump. So this tells you a couple things. Most of these people that get appointed by a president, the president just signs off on this shit. You know what I mean? The deep stater is already there. The deep stater is to be placed, right? And you sign off on it. And Biden can't even wipe his own ass, and Trump will just do, I'm sure, whatever.
Yeah.
She looks good. She does look good, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice if you're going to have a face job for something. Sure. But obviously, her focus has been, I watched a couple clips. She even spoke with Elon, it was in between the time that he acquired Twitter and the time that she was appointed CEO. They had a talk. It was an NBC Universal talk. And she
pushing
said,
him for ads being the most important thing.
Right. Like, don't you think you have a responsibility, yada, yada. You have the most follower count and you're the richest guy and you own it. Shouldn't you be held to a higher standard? Don't
Right.
you worry about advertisers and blah, blah, blah. And I wish that I could tell you to maybe not help sometimes. This
Like
is
the whole
language
thing
she's
that,
using.
the whole thing that he made his shtick on in buying Twitter was the free speech thing. And her, like, the only interaction that we've seen between her and Elon is her trying to convince Elon to have less free speech and focus more on ad revenue.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
So what the fuck?
I think that this is like, the way they put George H.W. Bush with Reagan and they put Mike Pence with Trump. Like, that's the check. That's that's kind of the deal that they make. I feel like there's no way this brilliant guy, as you said, Tony Stark, and on my show, I was like, yeah, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. He
Right.
looks at this iron box from government, through the revolving door of government and, like corporate propaganda and all this bullshit. And you were like, that's my chick. That's who I'm going with. After I just did all this, it's so stinky, dude. I don't know.
I don't like it. I don't
like it one bit. Nope.
Yeah, but I mean, she's not taking over. I mean, he still has the ability to he would still have the ability to remove her, right? If she doesn't work out.
Yeah, I just think that if you can't let the vampire into your house. Like, she
Right.
is
after you just cleaned house. Like, he
Right.
just fired everybody who was, into the same ideologies that she seems to be. So,
right. So if we were operating on a profit and loss system like Bud Light in the 80s, then he could just, I don't like the job that you're doing. Well, now you're fired. But like, if it's the government,
yeah,
it's like this is the concession you make. We'll let you have your thing, and you can keep Starlink, and you can keep making Tesla batteries all over the world if you just put in our fucking satellite.
Right. Yeah. A compromise.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we need. Elon Musk compromising with the World Economic Forum. Yeah, I don't know. If you had to guess where this goes, do you think I've seen some people try. I mean, I saw this clip earlier. This is like 10 minutes long. We don't have to watch the whole thing, obviously. But this is just people building her up for some award ceremony that was coming up or something.
Here's the thing about Linda Yaccarino. You may not see her behind the desk at Today
or in front of the camera on MSNBC, but you definitely know her work.
Because if there's one person at NBC Universal who makes every story,
now all these people that are gloating about her, look at who they work for, and like, are they companies that you would even want to be praised by at this point? But like, she basically, it seems like she played a big role in like taking a lot of these dying media companies and turning them into a mega conglomerate where they could all function better. Like, instead of going bankrupt, we're just going to buy up the little Vices and the MSNBCs and all these things and turn them into these mega corporations. So that's what she's good at. And from a capitalistic standpoint, good. I can see how that would be valuable to Elon Musk, who's trying to, Elon Musk is trying to basically turn Twitter into the main spot to do everything, it seems like.
Xfinity. I think, yeah. Patreon, Comcast Xfinity, YouTube, he wants it to be all that shit.
Yeah.
So that's fair. If we're being totally generous as much as we can. I mean, no, no, fuck that. I mean, you have to get somebody else who's not all those awful things. But that is his goal, to make it this way bigger than it was.
Right.
Way bigger.
So I can kind of see it from that standpoint, but at the same time, so she I don't know, dude. Like,
anybody who's
I
saying
want to believe,
like
I want to believe, but I can't.
Yeah, we can't do that. We can't be one of the guys who goes, well, let's just see how it works out.
How do you think it will work out? What do you think will happen?
Well, she works for evil.
Sure.
I know that. So like, I don't know how, evil's always working against us. But I don't know how this is going to play out. But I know that she's evil. So
Is it possible that Elon's just kind of dumb sometimes? Because it seems like he sometimes has takes where it's like, is it him being controlled and he's like controlled opposition to where he's giving mostly good answers and one little bad answer here and there to keep, pushing people in the wrong direction? Or is it like he's a genius, but also he's not up on everything and does he not know that NBC and MSNBC are kind of enemies of the people, or does it
He
like is
said
he
it
just looking
about,
at
like-
this from a business perspective?
He said it about like the New York Times. You know, that's historic. You know, that's supposed to be the most, heralded newspaper in the whole world.
Yeah.
And he'll call it a rag or whatever. Like obvious propaganda and bullshit. And I think, after being targeted by so many people, he should be, if he's experiencing this thing like legitimately and everything organically, then he should. I would be aware as fuck about who everybody I was talking
Right.
to.
Especially your CEO. But if you had to, would you be more surprised if he puts her in charge and it goes woke and tanks the company, or whatever, goes woke and just changes Twitter into something that it isn't meant to be? Or would you be more surprised if she got in there and did some things and he fired her on the spot or whatever? Like, I feel like it seems like her leaning is against what Elon Musk has stated his leaning is toward, like his stated purpose and goal for this thing. Seems like she's anti that. So assuming that that's going to be the case and they're going to butt heads, do you think he fires her, or do you think that's the point, for her to be the balance, as Elon Musk would put it, the balance to, like, even when he bought it, he was like, well, there's good and bad to Democrats and Republicans, and we all just need like equal voice and this and that and everything. Is he naive, or is he just playing this really good? I asked about 5 questions in there, so choose one.
It was a lot. It was a lot. I lean towards he's being forced into this. So I think if he does anything bold, like fire her for whatever, that will be a really brave thing to do. Because I definitely believe that she is working on behalf of evil forces. I judge people by the company they keep and the how they spend their life.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to give Mike Termott some shit. It's like, you want to run for president, dude? You've been a cop for the past 10 years.
Sure.
I've been a part of the Ron Paul revolution. I feel like I should run for president before you, bro. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. Legit.
Dave Casey, 2024.
Yeah. Literally
Casey
would be
Exotic.
the best choice right now. Oh, you motherfucker. You always got to shit on something at the very end.
Exotic
Everything's
Casey.
going great.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You're the bottom, let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know, man. I want him to be awesome, but I think I would lean towards she'll be there for a while, and that will be the deal. That will be the unholy deal, that they'll just spy on everybody through Twitter. They'll use it for AI. They'll use it for X Corp. That's the name of his corporation, by the way. X Corp.
Yeah.
That's a holding corporation.
It's a little on the nose.
Yeah. So I'm grateful because I have my Twitter accounts back, and that is neat. And it's the best one now. And,
I'm thankful for my World Economic Forum accounts, all 5 of them. And come visit me on World Economic Forum /Dave versus Goliath 1.
That's right.
Now, I don't know. Like, how does the World Economic Forum even work? It's like, what was her involvement even? Was she like heavily involved in their decision-making process? I don't know. I mean, the World Economic Forum's a lot of shady
She was the
figures.
chair of a committee. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was like, business building or something. I can't remember. But she was in charge of something at the World Economic Forum. That's 1 degree from Klaus, bro. I can't. She had it on her LinkedIn. Proud of it. So at least Tulsi was on there, and Tulsi, was like, no, she has to explain it away. And at least she's trying to explain it away. No, I don't want to be affiliated with that. I had them take it down, blah, blah, blah. Vivek Ramaswamy, he is suing them because they said he's part of their shit. And he's like, so that's pretty legit to me. I'm like, yeah, based. Again, this guy's like a pharma exec, and he's running for president. Pretty sure he wants to be Donald Trump's vice president. But yeah, like,
that could be fun.
It could be. I mean, if Donald Trump picked somebody with not Caucasian skin, that would be pretty big.
I would go with Vivek over Ron DeSantis at this point. But
oh yeah, totally. Yeah. And that would be the guy, by the way, that could explain away Trump's vaccine position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could do it. Oh, it's not that, hey, vaccines are good. Look what they've done throughout history. Blah, 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 blah. And I was a part of it. He could do all that. He could.
Do you trust him? I haven't seen much from Ramaswamy, but I've had some people reach out to me and say, oh, you should talk to this guy or whatever.
If you could
I've
get
seen
him
good
on.
things. Well, actually, I had somebody asking about potentially making ads for him. It probably isn't going to happen, so whatever. But yeah, what's your take on the guy just in general?
He's very bright and has a, he's dedicated. And I think he's raising a bunch of money. And I listened to his interview on Malice, and it was pretty good. Some red flags. He thinks that because we launched a war, like a drone war on ISIS, then we could definitely do that on the border, and we should target drug cartels.
Wow.
So this is one. Yeah, right. He wants to like launch right over the border, go to war with these guys, the drug cartels.
So we're going to war with Mexico, basically.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do, and I think it falls in line with Trump's like we're going to execute drug dealers. The whole thing, like we're just, you know what I mean? This is like the strongman shit. When the pendulum swings back, like you're kind of maybe getting a taste of that,
right?
If that happens, we just fucking drone bomb drug dealers. America would cheer that on. If it goes back to the America of the early 2000s, 9/11 right in the rear view, that kind of America that I remember.
We just caught some terrorists on the border down in Mexico, allegedly. Like we're pushing for Patriot Act 2.0. Like, instead of brown people overseas, we're just going home.
America is scared of fentanyl, and they're not going to end the war on drugs, so they'll probably do something like that instead. Sure, we got drones.
Yeah. I'm looking for a button. Thanks for the dead air. This is a real shitstorm. Speaking of shitstorms, let's do a Freak of the Week.
This program was made possible by viewers like you.
Hey, get what you deserve!
All your days are belong to us.
No one can stop us from enjoying this, so enjoy it! Stop crying!
It is Freak of the Week, where you guys submit the most ridiculous things that you can find, and we will pick one to discuss whenever we feel like it. But yeah, we started out talking about Twitter, and then by the end we were talking about candidates for president. I don't know. That's what this show is. We're all ADHD down here. But speaking of shitstorms, as I mentioned, this comes from kwqc.com, local to me, so you know it's legit. Mystery poop rains down on cars in drive-thru, family says, because we don't always have to talk about politics. Sometimes we're going to talk about literal shitstorms. I don't think I've seen this video. I read the article earlier.
In
but
1974, our dad...
No, I don't care about your dad. All right, skip your ad. Here we go.
We're in Burnsville, 13 and Cliff, by Caribou. I was waiting in line, getting my daily coffee.
Hi, thank you for stopping at Caribou.
I was in the drive-thru. I was like the sixth car. There's always a bunch of cars here. And all of a sudden, brown dropped onto my vehicle. It was like it rained brown for a second. Bloom, like that. I got out and I went to the car in front of me and I was like, what just happened to us? And he was like, I have no idea.
Okay, what can I get for you today?
I was like looking around, like who threw it at us? But it was very high, like it came straight down. It hit on my roof, on my hood. It was all the way down my side. My car and the car in front of me was fully covered.
Something landed on my mom's car.
Also, my child was with me.
What's that?
No, it's great. It's probably a plane that emptied out its shitter, right? I mean, I don't know what else. I'm just thinking what this could be.
I haven't watched the video, but I've read the article and I have some thoughts on that. But there's some suspicious things that I found in this shitstorm article. But I'm gonna see if they point them out here.
The windows weren't open.
It stinked.
You could tell that it was,
It was poop.
Shit. So I looked around. I didn't see any birds or anything.
This is very strange editing for what is this, TikTok? This is a news thing. Very jumpy, very sporadic. I'm uncomfortable with it.
Water was so strong that the woman who was handing me my coffee noted how much it smelled. I mean, my cat had something similar to it this morning, so I've had a lot today with the poop. This is a residential area, but we are in a flight path. I don't know why that would happen here.
1465 at the window.
Thank you. I have my A&P license. I went to school to be an aircraft mechanic.
Doesn't that seem suspicious that this lady that probably got shit on by an airplane just happens to be an aviation mechanic? And she's like, I don't know where this shit came from. Yes, I'm going conspiratorial on this. I want to know where the mystery shits came from in the sky. Perhaps from from crop dusters or something. They're really crop dusting now. But
right.
Yeah, it's sharding instead of just crop dusting.
You
But
ever see Kingpin, Dan?
no, Dave, stop doing that. You know I haven't.
No, have you seen it? God damn it! Everybody else who in the chat who's
I've
seen
only
it,
ever seen Spaceballs. That's the only movie I've seen. All right.
There's a shit cloud coming. Dude, that's gonna be probably number 3 on our list. Kingpin, great one.
Nice.
But this is great. Shit clouds.
Yep, shit clouds.
Have a good day.
Also, another suspicious thing is this lady's name is Carissa Brown. So in this article, it keeps saying the brown fell out of the sky onto Brown's hood, and it's written similarly to the choppy editing here. It's strange, but I found it.
What's the website?
It's kwqc.com. It's a local NBC.
Okay.
Around here. So, also this was submitted by my mom. So thanks, Mom, for submitting this shitstorm of an article. And that is our freak of the week. Unless Dave, did you have any other thoughts on Mystery Brown? Do you have any conspiracy theories for where the Brown came from that assaulted Brown's car?
Man, I wouldn't have gone too deep on this one until you pointed those couple highlights.
Come on,
out.
her
So,
name's Brown. She's an aviation expert. Her cat just happened to have the shits that morning. Like there's a lot of issues.
If Miss Brown, the aviation expert, who knows that she's in a flight path, doesn't know what's going on, who the fuck is going to tell us what's going on?
That's right. That's right.
She's the expert.
She said that because, of course, that's where your mind immediately goes to, is that, it just was released from a plane. But her point was, I'm an aviation mechanic, expert, whatever. I know planes. And she said that that's impossible, that couldn't happen. I don't know the reasoning why it couldn't happen, but the mechanic said that it couldn't happen. So who am I to deny them?
I think it was shit from a plane. She's fired.
The article also says that it could have been birds, a very large flock of birds that have brown shits, apparently. I was not familiar with that species.
Both cars, I got 2 cars.
Right.
Spans 20, I don't know what the radius is, but that's simultaneous shitting of birds. That's weird.
What if this was like new government technology testing where they're like working on psychological warfare mechanisms to just traumatize their victims? We could blow them up, or we could just shit all over them and make them depressed and suicidal or something.
Yeah, and who knows what's in that shit?
I mean, we have a government that literally made gay bombs at one point.
Yeah, it's turning the frickin' shit brown.
Is that true? I've heard that we made there. I don't know if it was like in Vietnam or something, but we had bombs that released a chemical that was supposed to, like, they were trying to make the enemy gay so that they would start having sex with each other, and that would end the fight. They would stop fighting. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds nefarious. That's if I know my enemy, and I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. That sounds like something that they would do. Fuck.
Yep. So why not shit bombs? I mean, obviously birds aren't real, and they're drones. So maybe it was birds, but birds are drones. This was a drone.
I've heard of that, like bomb, like grenades, covered with shit, or bombs that would be covered with that, so that when the shrapnel would come into you, then
it gets infected,
all infected and stuff. Yeah, I have heard of that. So makes sense, dude. Shit weapons.
We're going with that.
Biological warfare.
It's I mean, Occam's razor. Obviously, it's the most plausible. But speaking of shit, Joe Exotic won my poll for president.
You motherfucker! God,
we almost made it an entire episode without really talking about Joe Exotic, and we're still going to make it. We're not going to talk about Joe Exotic that much because my poll, where Joe Exotic won the vote for president, was against the new contender in the race, Mr. Mike Pence, the one and only, who lost to Joe Exotic a startling 82.1% to 17.9%. I don't know, Dave, if you had to vote today between Joe Exotic and Mike Pence, do we have your vote yet?
No, I participated in this poll and I voted for Mike Pence.
Fuck you, Dave.
I'm the guy. I don't know. I couldn't see how many people voted, but I was definitely one of those Mike Pence votes. First of all, it doesn't come with the same weight as actually pulling the lever for Mike Pence.
Right.
But I don't believe that we exist in a world where Mike Pence becomes the nominee. Mike Pence is Rick Santorum. You know what I mean? America.
But we do have Joe Biden as president, and he was the vice president, and nobody gave a shit about him as vice president, and now he's the president.
They can force their dude, people hated Kamala Harris.
But what if he's just the anti-Trump that they're going to, like, we can't say that Joe Biden beat Trump again, but what if we can knock Trump out early by saying that everybody's so pissed off with Donald Trump that they lean towards Mike Pence because he did so much amazing awesomeness during his vice presidency.
I think that Trump's base knows that he's a punk, and I think that all of America, including most Republicans, are bored, not beyond bored, like they're not feeling the Republican brand without Trump. I think DeSantis, honestly, I think DeSantis is in trouble. And anybody who thinks that he's anything that's like...
He's getting worse by the day. Like, he's getting weaker by the day.
He is essentially Mike Pence. Honestly.
He's getting there.
And now listen, all the stuff about him being great in Florida is true. But on the federal, look at what, again, I judge that chick Linda on what she's been doing for 20 years, and I'll do the same for DeSantis and all these other people. So go look at the guy's track record. Yes, it's been cool as governor in Florida for 2 years. But what he's done at Guantanamo Bay and in Congress, that all should be definitely weighed heavy. And, military background, Yale boy, just like the Bushes. He's getting help right now from Jeb and...
do you really get help from Jeb in politics, or do you just
money? You get money.
That's
so
fair.
I imagine it's like, don't go out there and be cheerleading for me, man, because nobody likes you. But I could use that Texas Bush money. Yeah, oil money, for sure.
Now, it should say something that we started talking about Mike Pence, and it quickly moved on to just anything else, anybody else. Like,
anyway,
you can't quite put Mike Pence on the same level as DeSantis, because when you're trying to defend Mike Pence, you started talking about DeSantis, because Mike Pence is that fucking boring that not even a conversation about Mike Pence wants anything to do with Mike Pence.
He is so boring. Yeah, he is Rick Santorum without a sense of humor. Like, Rick Santorum actually seems like kind of cool next to Mike Pence. But I mean, as far as policies,
I think cool's a little strong.
All right, I'm sorry. That
you
guy.
Guys, clip that. Dave Casey. Rick Santorum is pretty cool.
Santorum. Yeah, they should probably consider a double ticket there.
Yes,
Santorum, Pence, knock him dead.
Danielle says, fake super chat. Earlier, I saw someone make the case that Taylor Swift should run because she is most popular and would be 35 in time to take office. Thoughts? Well, one thought I have is, we are going to talk about some Taylor Swift in the after party, so definitely come join us there, Danielle. But also, I know that we probably have some T Swift fans, some Swifties here in the audience, and I don't even want another Taylor Swift album, let alone a Taylor Swift presidency. I want Taylor Swift to just go away. And I know I'm being unfair because I don't follow her enough. All I see about Taylor Swift is just her just boring, obsessed fans online, and that I've seen enough. I've heard enough. I don't want Taylor Swift to be president. I don't want Taylor Swift to be. And maybe I'm being harsh, but that's what you get when you give fake super chats. Dave, T Swift 24?
No, not at all. And even if she wanted to do it, or if she was, I don't want her to be president. That would be awful for so many reasons. But also, that's not how it works. Taylor Swift is an influencer who happens to sing good. Her job is to perform at the Democratic National Committee.
Right.
That's her job.
Yeah. And my biggest issue with Taylor Swift isn't her music. I like some of her songs. I couldn't name any of them. Probably Chad broke up with me, and Dave broke up with me, and Brad broke up with me. But she was just the guys broke up with me chick who made music, and she wrote her own stuff, and I respected her, whatever. But she always avoided the politics, and then she got into the politics, and I don't know. It's hard for me to care about your breakups when you're out there with Trump derangement syndrome. I've only seen bits and pieces, so I don't know if she's that bad or not, but it's I don't respect her politics from what I've seen, so no, I wouldn't want her to be president, and I like her music less than I would have otherwise now.
I saw, and again, I have so little knowledge on Taylor Swift, her catalog, or anything that she does.
Thank you, Danielle, for making two middle-aged white dudes talk about Taylor Swift.
I know. Listen, I know she's got a banger or two, but I saw like a clip. It might have been from like a Netflix special, maybe. If she has one, it was probably from that. It was in black and white.
I think she has a Disney Plus special too, if that tells you anything.
Maybe that's it. I do have Disney Plus, and she was on a couch and she was like intently listening to her managers like beg her to maybe like not get involved in politics. Like you should just blah blah blah. And she was like adamant, like no,
Right.
like and I need to be anti-Trump because
It's time for me to be loud and wrong.
as if that's anti-authoritarian or like rebellious in any way. It is like a true inversion. Like, and I don't know if that's because she's young or whatever, but though she just said she's gonna be 35. No, this bitch should know fucking better by now. Like you were an adult during 9/11 or at least close to it, and you should understand
she's my age.
What the state of the world. Yeah. You should understand the state of the world. And you don't. But to pretend for a minute that like I need to like speak my mind. No, the Dixie Chicks spoke their mind against George W. Bush during a time when it was fucking brave and they lost everything. And you are doing what you're supposed to do.
And now they're just the chicks, and nobody respects chicks.
Yeah, see, they turned back on they lost everything. Oh, sad. Very sad.
It is. Now, if you had to choose the ticket now, we're just going to have we should make brackets and see, I don't know how this would work, but who Dave will vote for Joe Exotic for over the alternative. You're voting Mike Pence so far. Now, Taylor Swift versus Joe Exotic, who would it be?
Taylor Swift.
Dave.
Unironically. After all the stuff I just said and I meant it.
Now, if I wasn't pushing,
dude, if I want a weird
if I wasn't
homo,
pushing
then
Joe
I'll pick
Exotic
Chase
down
Oliver,
your,
bro. If I want to, just kidding.
Chase is cool.
Is he though? Is he cool? We were just talking about what's cool. Is he cool? I don't know that. I don't know if that's true.
He's chill. Like for
All
me,
right.
I'd be down to hang.
Right.
I don't think I'd vote for him.
That's
but
why you're
he's
the
chill.
good cop and I'm the bad one.
That's right. We'll have him on soon, and we'll play good cop, bad cop. But
Cool.
if he's so willing. But Dave, if I wasn't so adamant about Joe Exotic 2024, would you be as adamant against Joe Exotic 2024? Because I feel like if anybody else asked you Taylor Swift for president or Mike Pence for president or Joe Exotic for president, with that, if you took away all the conversations that we've had where I've been obnoxious about this, would you have a different response?
No, honest to God, no, I would not. Like because I know that you're asking me like, who would you rather see as president? That's what you're honestly asking that. So we're doing these weird libertarian hypotheticals.
Yeah.
But I'm giving you an honest to God answer.
Who do you think's more libertarian?
Dude, I think that guy's crazy.
Yes. Exactly.
So I wouldn't want to put a crazy I mean, I don't know how much worse it could get than putting that. Also, he's not smart. Have you seen his tweets and his memes? They all suck.
It's
He's
so
an idiot,
great.
He barely speak. It'd be
It's
like
so
John
great.
Fetterman. If you want a Fetterman president, that's as close as you could get. This fucking idiot getting up there and just making everybody not only being an idiot but looking stupid too. At the same time,
Joe Exotic's not an idiot because Joe Exotic is stealing my messaging almost straight up. Did you see that meme that he put out? That was almost ripped from what I've been saying about Joe. He basically said
about
libertarians should back me because it would shake shit up in the Democratic Party. And I'm like,
look at you.
Look
at you. I see you. I see you, dog. No, that's really cool. Keep up that shit. That's funny. And I like what you have going on, but I don't know. So far, you haven't given me any compelling. Like, John Fetterman might be worse. That would be worse.
Yeah.
If you said John Fetterman or him, I would say Joe. I would hate to say it, but Joe.
I'm gonna bring maybe not next week, maybe not the week after, but soon. I'm gonna bring the most compelling case, the most compelling argument for Joe Exotic. I'm not gonna vote for him, but I'm gonna bring the case for him, and I'm gonna convince you to surrender. That's I just have an ability to wear people down. But Mike Pence is running, and he's going to do great. And I'm here,
obviously.
I'm here for Mike Pence throwing his hat in the ring too. I mean, he has no business being there, just like Bill Weld running against Trump in 2020. But I like watching that happen. The retarded iron sharpening retarded iron. Like, if we can see these people at least call each other out. Once you get Trump in there, he's going to be calling everybody out for shit, and they're going to have to at least defend their stupidity. I want to see the GOP debate where Donald Trump calls Mike Pence on all the all that stuff from the latter years of the Trump-Pence regime. It would be fun.
Mike Pence won me over with the Mike Pence dinner rule. Did you caught that? How
where he
doesn't go
out with women?
Yeah. Unless my wife's present, like it doesn't matter. You're a reporter or you're a colleague or any. I don't sit down to a meal with any woman without my wife. I'm like, all right, that's pretty base, bro. Well, and it's also smart politically. I think that's in Washington D.C. where everything's blackmail's currency.
I could make both arguments on that. Even I think that
gay?
like no, just like the like I do think that I understand where he's coming from, and I pretty much have always had that stance as well for the most part. But like just playing it safe in that regard, but leaving no doubt possible. However, I do think it's a weird standard to have because it does kind of potentially harm females' ability to progress in certain workforces if businessmen aren't able to go out on business meetings with just a woman. I do think there's an argument to be made there, but also I don't know. I think there's points on both sides there.
Then
I think it's dumb.
Get out there with a group lunch. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just better. Human resources would feel better about it. Tell you that much.
Right. Until the woman complains that she's not making enough and she can't advance in the workforce because the man won't take her out on a date.
Right. He won't date me. So advance me. That sounds about right.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody's dumb. And that's all I've got. We're gonna go do after party, and I've got a bunch of funny shit, and we're gonna have some fun over there. Dave, do you got any final thoughts on anything we've talked about today? We had Ron Perlman being retarded. We had John Fetterman being a very wise senator. We had what's this?
Then you had the actual retardeds.
Drag syndrome, and Miller Lite, and all this stuff. Vice, shit, we talked about a lot, and we did it in a record
retarded
time.
Stuff.
Yeah,
everything's retarded.
And Elon Musk.
He's cool so far. I'm just, that's all I can say. If it's a limited hangout, it's really good. And if it's legit, then we're really lucky because
Dear Fed, please keep fooling us. Keep going. Yeah. As long as you're fooling us well, keep going.
Yep, that 5th generation warfare is some good shit. Can't tell what's up, what's down, baby. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're making the show so great.
Dave, where can people find you? Tell them anything that you got to tell them about Delaware or your show or anything you got going on, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is my last week as a Delaware libertarian officer of the Libertarian Party. Very, very sad. So the convention's this weekend. We got Spike Cohen coming in. Maj Touré is going to come in. So I'm going to try and get some bring them.
You going to get that Maj interview?
The one you couldn't get. Yo, Dan said that you posted your exact location and you punked out. That's Dan Smotz at P.O. Box 747.
Dan was waiting for you at the Drag Queen Story Hour.
That's right.
Film the shit.
You didn't pull up. Right. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to hang out with my people. And I've decided, Dan, I'm gonna get worse so they don't need to be affiliated with me. I can help them out with other things, and really great people. And follow me on Twitter. What's that?
Dave Unleashed.
Yeah, I'm going out there with the mic. They can catch me. I'm gonna be down at Leg Hall and
awesome
shamming that microphone in people's beaks. But yeah, follow me on Twitter, and we just put out a good episode. We talked about Patriot Front. Those are the feds who are trying to make libertarians and conservatives look like terrorists. So something to consider. Everybody knows they're feds, but what are they being used for? It's bad news bears. Go look at that.
Absolutely. Dave, always a pleasure. Thanks for being here. Let me see if we got any more fake super chats here before we kick out. And we can fill this time by talking and being podcasters.
Joey Two Guns said, Dave, move to Florida. Bro, I moved there right before 9/11 with my buddies. I got a job at Universal Studios in August of 2001 working the Twister ride. And they called me on September 13th to say, we can't hire you. We had to fire like thousands of people because planes can't come into Orlando. Anyway, now I'm done with Florida. I'm not going to move there. I've already done that. Moved to California a couple times.
Let's be honest. It's overrated. It's muggy. Yeah. There's giant spiders and bugs and shit and alligators and meth and
so much crap. But you guys look like you're partying down there, and it
was
look appealing.
It was a good time.
Yeah. Great. I didn't even tell you that. That was great video, man.
Thanks.
You're good with that mic, bro. I'm taking notes.
I mean, I'm more good at editing and making it look like I'm good with the mic. If you
Good
cut out
timing.
all the stupid questions, then you sound a lot smarter. So
It's good.
just work on the editing game. Doesn't matter what happens in real time because nobody remembers that shit. So Joey Two Gun says, fake super chat. Everyone knows we need a minefield at the border. It's like whack-a-mole, but with brown people. He also says, Dave MF and Casey is calling Joe Exotic not smart when we have creepy Joe in office. Smart is no longer a variable. Exactly. Would he be a level up? Would he be leveling up from Joe Biden at least? If you had to choose Joe or Joe Jorgensen. The three Joes.
Okay, no. It would be Joe Exotic. It would be Joe Jorgensen over Joe Exotic, and it would be Joe Exotic over Joe Biden because corruption is
right.
You can't
worse than
tolerate
retardation.
that. Put that on the bumper sticker. Corruption is worse than retardation. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean Joe Exotic might be a murderer, but Joe Biden is a murderer. So
Right.
I'm
How
going
many
with
more
might be a
people?
murderer over is a murderer.
Exactly, dude. Nailed it.
Right on. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for being here in the chats. Come join us in the after party. We will see you all over there. And let's make Dave tiny again. Hashtag make Dave tiny again. Yeah, support the show at patreon.com/the system is down and share the show with your friends. Help us get the word out because the algorithms hate us and we love you. So show us your love with dollars and shares and join us momentarily to talk about Taylor Swift and Martha Stewart being hot or not. Welcome to the internet. Goodbye.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/the system is down for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.